This week on the Husky Update.
Student Government Association elections come to a close. The new mayor makes history in Boston, and the nation reels after 2 violent attacks. All this and more on this week's episode of the Husky Update.
Your campus, your news, all the time. From the Showman Studio, here is the Husky Update.
Hello and welcome to the Husky Update. I'm Christine Chan reporting from Showman Studio. For our first story, elections for student government president and vice president closed Monday at 3 p.m. The SGA elections chair shared a breakdown of the ballots cast. The Power to the Pack duo took home 74% of the total vote, with the other 26% being split by no confidence votes and abstentions. Also on the ballot were 5 referendums brought up by the student body. All 5 passed with over 80% favorable votes. The most successful of the 5 was the MBTA referendum, which calls for the university to partner with the MBTA to provide reduced fares for students. 94% of voters voted in favor of the referendum. To learn more about the Power to the Pack platform, check out our interview with the new SGA president and vice president. Now we go to Saakhi Singh with more.
Thanks, Christine. In local news, on Monday, Kim Janey became both the first woman and the first black mayor of Boston. She is stepping up as acting mayor after Martin J. Walsh resigned Monday and was sworn in as U.S. Labor Secretary on Tuesday. Janey was raised in Roxbury, and at 11 years old, she was part of the desegregation busing to middle school in Charleston, where people threw rocks and insulted her with racial slurs. She has worked as a community organizer for Parents United for Childcare and the nonprofit Massachusetts Advocates for Childcare since 2001. In 2017, Janey was elected to the Boston City Council as the first woman to represent District 7, which includes most of Roxbury and parts of the South End, Dorchester, and Fenway. She was elected to City Council President in 2020. Janey will serve as acting mayor until the November election. Her interests have been and will continue to include affordable housing, voters' rights, workers' rights, and equity for students and teacher diversity in Boston public schools. During the pandemic, her first priorities will include safe and equitable COVID vaccine distribution, safe school environments, and environment recovery, especially for communities that have been disproportionately affected. She has not yet stated if she plans to run for election for a full term as mayor. In national news, Arkansas legislature has passed a law that would effectively bar transgender female athletes from participating with the team that reflects their gender identity in K-12 and collegiate sports. Unless the law sees legal challenges, this summer Arkansas would become only the 2nd state to pass a law of this nature. Civil rights and LGBTQ+ activists across the country have voiced their deep concerns for this law. The ACLU of Arkansas director, Holly Dixon, has released a statement saying, "This law is discriminatory and shameful attempt by politicians to stigmatize and exclude transgender teens." Arkansas Republicans are also pushing a law that would allow doctors to refuse to treat someone for moral or religious reasons, with many against the law suggesting it would be used to turn away LGBTQ+ patients. In headline news, on Monday, March 22nd, a mass shooting took place at a grocery store in Boulder, Colorado. 10 people, including a police officer, were killed. This comes only 10 days after the Colorado Supreme Court struck down a Boulder County law banning assault rifles. Colorado has a history involving gun violence, from the Columbine shooting in 1999, the Aurora shooting in 2012, and more recently, a shooting at Highlands Ranch High School in 2019. Now Boulder joins this list. Boulder itself has already faced the legacy of these events, as on April 20th, 2019, the 20th anniversary of Columbine, Boulder Valley High School District was one of 16 school districts in the Denver metro area to be shut down due to threats to honor the legacy of Columbine. In the plaza in which King Soopers, the grocery store in which the shooting took place, there was a hostage situation 2 years ago. Luckily, in that instance, no one was hurt. Our hearts go out to the victims of the Boulder shooting and their families.
Thanks, Saakhi. 2 weeks ago, a man murdered 8 people, 6 of whom were Asian women, in a violent rampage in Georgia. This sparked conversation about the rise in violence against Asian Americans, and the Northeastern community is weighing in. University President Joseph A. Yoon sent out a statement to all students, quote, condemning these racist acts. The president also said that words of support, healing, and prayer are not enough. Northeastern is a community of action. A coalition of Northeastern student organizations responded to the president's letter, stating that it failed to provide the way in which Northeastern would act. The letter had a number of action items, but it notably requested a sit-down between the APIDA group and administration to discuss the group's concerns and next steps. APIDA, standing for Asian Pacific Islander Desi American, is made up of members from a number of Asian student groups, including the Pan-Asian American Council, CASA, Barkada, UTSAV, and more. Students can support the letter by endorsing the Do Better NU initiative. As of filming, the university has not responded to the letter publicly. That's it for this episode of the Husky Update. I'm Christine Chan. Thank you for watching.